Hey, hello. This is Gardening 3, the indoors edition, and it's a test. So my cellular signal at my house is not that great. So typically I turn off Wi-Fi and use cellular data for live streaming. Seems to work better. However, at my house, that doesn't seem to be the case. So what I've done is I've turned off cellular data and using Wi-Fi only. And I do have here on my back porch, I have uh, an access point which connects to my main router over Wi-Fi. And the main router is sort of hidden away in the basement, so sometimes this device drops. So we'll see what happens here. But I wanted to conclude the crappy earlier scopes with just a look of what I've done, right? So first of all, the garlic scapes. This is a garlic scape that I've cut. And as I explained, whether it got on air or not, eventually if I let this grow, it will straighten out and get totally upright. And then this part here, this swollen structure, is where the flower and the seeds develop. The seeds are called bulbules, and if you leave the plant in the ground and let this develop, the plant puts energy into producing the flower and the seeds, and then the seeds fall to the ground and the garlic plant is self-propagating. And that's cool, except that we don't want that typically when we're growing garlic for the bulb and the head, the garlic head, the head of garlic, the bulb, and the cloves. We want them big and very, very healthy. So if we cut this off, then the plant will send its energy into the actual garlic bulb itself. And that's what we want. So that's why we cut the scapes. Besides, they're very, very tasty. You can just chop them up a little bit, put them on a salad raw. So it's a garlicky taste. It adds to the salad. It's good in all kinds of salads as far as I'm concerned, but especially in Caesar salad would be great. You can grill them, like coat them in oil and grill them or saute them. That makes them more tender because they are a little bit woody, right? So if you put them in a salad, you want to chop them up fairly fine, right? Except for this part here this is pretty. The lighter parts in this is pretty tender. This is not very tender, right? So then the third way, which I talked about, I don't know if it got, I haven't watched those stupid scopes, but the third way I'm going to try it is to deep fry, right? Really deep fry them, and so they're like garlic chips. Who wasn't like that? All right. So anyway, back in my bag. Then this is the garlic plant that I harvested because it was very small and all the leaves were brown. So you know when to harvest garlic when at least 75% of the leaves are brown, and each leaf represents one clove of garlic generally. So this one has like six, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there was one that fell off. So there's probably 6 little baby garlic cloves in here, which this is going to go in cooking. I'm not going to like store this for the winter or give it away or sell or anything like that. All right, so that's that. And then this is a bunching onion that I harvested the other day. So this is just an onion. They won't grow very much bigger than this. So that's one variety of onion I have. And so they're good for, again, salads, or they're bigger than pearl onions, but they're sort of like that. So you could use those in, throwing in, a stock or something like that, but very flavorful. And then the last thing are scallions. So when I was talking to Claire, she, again, I'll repeat this in case it wasn't uh, broadcast. She was asking about garlic scapes versus garlic scallions versus green garlic versus regular scallions. So this is a regular scallion. It's an onion, right? But this onion will not develop like a big bulb like you buy in the supermarket. They stay small like this. They're made for chopping up and putting in stuff, stir fry especially. Um, the leaves are different than garlic, so if you don't know, if you don't do any gardening, you would think, oh, is that a garlic plant? No. These are hollow, and they're very spongy, springy, right? And they don't develop this tall center stalk, which is like the garlic scape. And this one is, pretty good size for a scallion. I didn't want it to grow much larger, even though we have plenty of scallions in the house and in the fridge. Um, and it smells very different. It smells sweeter than garlic. In fact, no real garlicky smell at all, except that they're in the same family. They're in the allium family. So I planted these in the spring. What I'm going to do is probably plant some more in the fall. I plant my garlic mid-November, like second week in November, and then it's ready the middle of July, so about another month from now. And all the allium family, or most of them at least, will overwinter. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to plant some of these in the fall, and that way I'll have an early spring harvest, and then I'll plant some more in early spring, and then I'll have some during the summer. So that's called succession planting, and it's a good way of keeping things going. And you do that with lettuces too. I have some lettuce in a raised bed that I can show on a different scope. But this scope is mainly just to wrap all those things up. Again, to show off what Chantal said, that's a knife, the Nisaku gardening knife. And I use this for planting too, because it has the markings, the depth markings on there, so you can dig down, dig your hole. And so if something calls for planting, 25 millimeters, an inch down, or an inch and a half, or whatever, you've got both metric and imperial markings on this. 25 bucks or so on Amazon US Prime, so free delivery if you're a Prime member. I should have bought this. This is my second season, I think, with this. Maybe my third, but I should have bought this a long time ago. It is great for weeding. It makes hand weeding so much easier. And so I can't recommend it highly enough. This is a Japanese made. There's also a US made style or option on Amazon. It actually costs more the last time I looked than this one. And I'm thinking, why would you do that, right? The Japanese have been making knives and swords and great quality steel for centuries. Centuries before, there was industry, mechanized industry, or even hand-forged stuff in North America. So people, buy the real thing. Is the other one bad? I don't know. I haven't had one. When I came to make my choice, I chose the real deal. You should choose the real deal too. And the real deal is growing your own stuff. The garlic, the onions. Oh, and I have chives too. Didn't show you the chives, right? Again, part of the garlic family. Once you get chives started, they will grow and spread. So the biggest problem with chive is just maintaining limited growth. But all this stuff will grow in containers. It'll grow in containers. You don't have to have a lot of property. You could do it on your balcony. Maybe you could do it on balcony number 2, Chantal, or balcony number 3. Yeah, you should do that. Instead of just having strawberries and Kardashians, grow some herbs. Basil too. All right, check it out, folks. There will be more as the season goes on. I've got, as I indicated, I've got lettuce to show you. I've also got peppers. both sweet peppers and hot peppers, and beans, like shell beans. Not to hell with beans, but shell beans. You know, the long pods, and you open them up and there's beans in there. They grow, they climb, right? So we've got places for them to climb, not crime. It's a crime if you don't have beans, right? They're good for you. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend, everybody.